If you're experiencing anxiety, overwhelm, you feel flustered, or just generally frazzled, then today's yoga class will be perfect for you. It's a simple class where you will go through some grounding practices that can really help you when you're in that sort of flustered, anxious state of mind. You might need one block, and apart from that, a yoga mat, nice comfy clothes that allow freedom of movement, and we will begin lying on the back. So get there any way you can. We'll start actually in Shavasana. So coming all the way down, allow the feet to flop open, palms are facing up towards the sky, shoulders are down the back of the neck is long and the chin is slightly tucked. Maybe take a deep inhale and exhale through the mouth and start to feel the body melting into the earth. As you're lying here, we will actually do a little breathing practice to help us feel grounded. You may be familiar with alternate nostril breathing. You breathe in through one nostril, hold at the top, then you breathe out through the other, and then reverse the flow. We're going to do that, but we're not going to use our hands. Normally you use your fingers to close one nostril. We are going to do a mental version of it. So imagining that you're inhaling just through one nostril and exhaling through the other. Take a deep breath in, then fully exhale. And then for your next inhale, imagine you're inhaling only through your left nostril. Hold the inhale. Then imagine that you're exhaling only through the right nostril. Pause. Then inhale mentally through the right nostril. Hold at the top. Exhale mentally through the left nostril. Hold at the bottom. Inhale left. Hold at the top. Exhale right. Hold at the bottom. Inhale right. Hold at the top. Exhale through the left. Hold at the bottom. One more round each side. Inhale left. Hold at the top. Exhale right. Hold at the bottom. Inhale right. Hold at the top. Exhale left. Hold at the bottom. And start to breathe naturally through both nostrils again. So that breath, you can try that anytime you feel anxious, maybe on public transport, in an office meeting. You can use the mind to help you breathe, and it really does bring a sense of calm across the body. From here, slowly bring the feet in with the knees pointing to the sky. Bring the feet as wide as the mat and allow the knees to knock together for constructive rest. You can keep the hands where they are, or maybe bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Let's lay here for a moment. This position is a neutral position for the psoas, that is the muscle that links the lower body to the upper body, from the top of the thigh bone to the side of the spine. It's the muscle that is utilized in our fight or flight response, sometimes known as the muscle of the soul. It activates to either make us run away from whatever the threat is, or curl up in a little ball to protect ourselves. So often when we're in a sense of anxiousness, stress, you can feel a gripping in this muscle. It's an intuitive muscle. And this position here neutralizes it and can help you feel comfortable in the body and calm. Then now bring the knees in one by one into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And release the feet back down. The feet are directly underneath the knees, hands by the side with the palms facing downwards. We'll move through a couple of dynamic bridges, grounding down into the feet. On an inhale, gently roll up the pelvis through the lower spine, bringing the hip bones up to the sky, and as you do so, the arms come up and they extend overhead so the backs of the hands come down onto the floor behind you. And as you exhale, reversing the movement, rolling down through the spine, one vertebra at a time, until the pelvis is the last to come down and the hands come down by the sides. And then again, inhale, lifting the pelvis and the arms up to the sky, arms coming overhead. Then as you exhale, gently reversing, nice mindful movement in time with the breath. One more of these, inhaling, lifting everything up. Inhaling right down to the pelvis. And then as you exhale, emptying the lungs and bringing the body back down to the earth. Wonderful. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Bring the knees directly over the hips and lift the lower legs up so the calves are parallel to the earth. Arms come out to the side. You can have them in cactus or in a T. And starting to engage the belly, allow the legs to fall gently over to the left side into this spinal twist. Briefly touch the knees to the earth. And as you inhale, they come back to center. And then exhale over to the other side, controlling the legs with the belly. And inhale back to center. And as you exhale again over to the left. Start to move like this in time with your breath. Slower is better. Notice if you're gripping anywhere you don't need to grip, like maybe the jaw. Allowing the spine to rotate, keeping the shoulders plugged onto the earth. You can have the eyes closed if that feels nice. Just waking up the spine here. Twists always feel so delicious. It is said that if you only have time to do one yoga pose, make it a twist. Once you've gone over to the right side for the last time, bring the knees back up to the center line. Circle them again with the hands, squeezing into the chest, and then using the strength of the core, we'll slowly roll up and come over the knees into tabletop. Bringing the hands directly underneath the shoulders, feeling the hands grounding into the earth, knees under the hips, spine is neutral, back of the neck is long. On an inhale, extend the right leg straight out behind, engaging the core. Very gently sweep this right leg over to the left side of the mat, tucking the toes and looking over the left shoulder at the right foot. Maybe rocking backwards and forwards on this foot, getting into the side of the ribs here, the side of the hip, the side of the waist. Then inhale back to center. Lower the right knee back to the earth, second side. Inhale the left leg straight back, keeping that core engaged and the spine neutral. Gently sweeping this left foot over to the right side of the mat, looking over the right shoulder, maybe rocking backwards and forwards on this foot, feeling it in the side body. Then inhale back to center, bring this knee down, move the hands about one handprint in front, tuck the toes, and the seat comes up for our first downward facing dog.
Feet are around hip distance apart, hands around shoulder width, grounding into the base of the knuckles, pedaling out the feet very gently, opening the backs of the heels and the backs of the calves, the back of the knees, the hamstrings, just waking everything up. Then gradually start to settle the heels, sit bones to the sky, lengthening the spine long, triceps rotated towards the back of the room, upper back is wide, ears between the biceps, really feeling this full body stretch here. And when you're ready, look ahead, come up onto the tiptoes and gently walk to the front of the mat. Bend the knees and drape the belly over the thighs and come into this forward fold. Maybe the backs of the hands come to the earth. Releasing the neck, you can shake it out a little bit. And here we'll gently stand up, bringing the hands to the hips, engaging the front spine, grounding into the feet, and slowly come up, bringing the torso up, all the way up to standing. Wonderful. I'll turn and face you. We'll work on tree pose, which is a great pose to help with grounding. Bringing the hands to the hips, and I'll mirror you here, grounding down all the way into the right foot, engaging up through this midline here, so activating your root lock, the perineum. So that's the muscle that you activate when you're trying to hold in, going to the toilet. Really helps create stability in the whole of the center of the body. Starting to bring all the way into the right foot. We externally rotate the left knee, so rotating from the hip here. Imagining that you have roots coming out of your right foot, grounding down into the earth. This class is all about feeling grounded. And in this posture, we want to ground down, but we also want to rise up. And that really gives us a lot of stability in the pose. Find a point to gaze at that is not moving. You can keep your toes on the floor. You can bring them to the inner calf or maybe to the inner thigh. Pressing the left foot into the right thigh and vice versa. Zipping up through this midline. Imagining this left glute is an ice cream scoop that's scooping under. You can have the hands at the chest, or you can bring them overhead. And actually, if you bring them wide, it's more stable. So you can imagine that these are your branches. Grounding down through that foot, lifting through the chest and the spine and the crown. Breathing deep, as strong as an oak. Then if you have the arms spread wide, bring them back to the chest. Bring this left knee forward and then release down to the earth. Well done. Shake it out a little bit and we'll move to the other side. Grounding down to this left foot, imagining you've got those roots going down through the earth's crust, holding you tight to the earth. Externally rotating this right hip. Tall spine, grounding down, rising up, activating that Mula Bandha, the root lock. And then bringing your foot wherever feels comfortable. Pressing in, the union of opposites, palms to chest. Eyes are on one spot, your drishti, your gaze. Maybe you can bring your branches up. Fingers wide, like the leaves on the tree. Not worrying if you fall, trees fall all the time. If you fall out, just come back in again. I fall over all the time. Balance is a lottery every single day. Wherever you are, gradually bring the hands back to the chest, knee comes forward, and release and shake it out. Wonderful. Come into a wide-legged stance.
for a forward fold. Toes are facing forward, tailbone is descending, chest lifts, and we're folding from the hip crease here. And if you've got a block handy, it might be worth putting it in front of you. Lifting the chest and then folding from this hip crease and using the core to help fold yourself in. We'll come forward, keeping the hands first of all at the hips. Maybe the hands come down to the earth, and this might be your position. If you're able to go a bit deeper, maybe you descend the body. And if you have a block here, like I've got it on the highest height, the tower height, maybe you bring the forehead to the block and surrender here. So anytime we're in these yoga poses, and there are things like these forward folds, if, for example, I've got my head in contact with this block here, it sends a message to the brain that we are safe, because it gives you something to surrender into rather than dangling in midair. And sometimes when you make this connection and it signals to the body that you are safe, you can sometimes experience a little bit more release. So as you bend here with your head on this block, you may find you can make it, turn it lower, come a bit deeper, because your body is starting to release and let go. It's not protecting itself. So that's what happens when we're anxious or stressed and we're activating that stress response. Our body braces itself, makes it tight to protect, and it doesn't let go. And we live in a very fast-paced world now where there's stressful situations coming from all angles, and we often are bracing just all day long. When we are in our yoga practice and we're in a safe space, we do these deep postures that allow the brain and the body to surrender. It helps us relax in real life as well, and have a tool to use when we're maybe in a stressful situation. Whatever version you're in, ground down into the feet, bring the hands back to the hips, and on an inhale, come all the way up, using the strength of the core. Slowly heel toe the feet in. Let's come into this neutral position, Samasthiti. Stand here for a moment, maybe close the eyes and reconnect. Observe how you feel. Those deep forward folds are wonderful to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest system, the place of healing and surrendering that is absolutely essential for our overall well-being. From here we will make our way down onto the floor. I'm going to do it via Malasana Yoga Squat, my favorite method of transport to the earth. Bringing the knees in the same direction as the toes, sitting down into the heels, coming all the way down, and coming into a wide-legged stance on the floor. So we just did this standing up. We'll now do it on the floor. Feet are flexed, spine is tall. If you're finding it difficult and you're rounding like this, you can have the knees slightly bent, or you can elevate your hips on a blanket or something. From here, lifting out of the waist as we inhale, and as you exhale, folding from this hip crease and coming forward into a forward fold. This might be the depth of your forward fold, and that's perfectly okay. Go with your body. Go to the edge of challenge. Maybe simmering here for a while. You find you release a little bit more. You can bring your elbows to the block. Grounding down those hamstrings into the earth. Lengthening the breath. Keeping the spine straight. Not concerning yourself with how deep you are. Doing what's good for your body. Long breaths. This should be a calming pose. Then gently come back up to neutral. Rotating the body over towards the left leg. So this is, we're twisting the spine here. Lengthen in tall. Then walking out over this left leg. Keeping the spine long and then descending over it. Coming down just as far as is comfortable for you in your body. Maybe closing the eyes. And on an inhale, come back up. Move to the neutral position. Take a moment here. Then rotate over to the other side towards the right leg. Lengthening out of the waist. And then folding from this hip crease. Coming forward into this forward fold. Very gently start to make your way back up. We'll come over onto the back for Viparita Karani. If you have a wall space handy, you can use that, and I recommend that. This is waterfall pose. I'm going to do it in the center of the mat, but you can scooch over to a wall. If you have a block, you can place it underneath the sacrum. So that's the triangular bone at the base of the spine. Bring the knees up over the hips and extend the legs up to the sky. The legs are totally stacked over the hips, so they don't really actually use much muscle engagement. It's even better at the wall, where you can surrender into the wall. If you're in the middle of the room like me, it's still a very relaxing pose. And this will be our final posture. So taking the time here to close the eyes, turning the attention inward. Maybe here you can do that mental alternate nostril breathing again. Really helps to calm the body and the mind. Bringing the nervous system down. Noticing how light the legs feel. This is a wonderful pose to do for lymphatic drainage. It's allowing every gravity to help the lymph flow through the legs. This helps ease the heart as well. Allowing gravity to help with circulation. You can stay here for as long as you like. You'll slowly start to come out of the posture. Lifting the hips and moving the block away, allowing the knees to knock together again for that constructive rest position that we did at the start of class. Maybe bringing both hands to the belly, centering in, noticing the connection of the hips and the upper back and the back of the head, the earth, soles of the feet.
all those points of contact. Maybe imagine you have roots growing out of them like you did when you were in tree pose, anchoring you to the earth. Letting you feel grounded and safe and secure. Enjoying the sanctuary of your mat. Knowing every day that your yoga practice is there for you. Even if it's a few breaths in child's pose. Developing a consistent habit that can help you feel grounded and safe, relaxed. Something to connect with every day. Gently bring the knees into the chest and fall over onto one side, coming into a fetal position. And gradually coming up to a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands to the knees, crown to the sky. If you like, and you have your block handy, you can actually put it on top of your head. And this is a great way to feel extra grounded. Connecting with the breath. Spine is tall. Few breaths here. Bring the palms to the chest, and thank you for practicing with me today. Hope you enjoyed this class and you feel a little bit more grounded. And you've got a few tools that you can use throughout the day whenever you're feeling anxious or flustered or overwhelmed. Thank you for practicing, and I will see you soon.